Well, good morning, my YouTube friends and family. Hope everyone's doing well. It's been a while, been a little bit busy, been just a whole bunch of stuff going on. I got sick right before Memorial Day weekend. I was out on the road and got food poisoning. Spent about 2.5 days in the back of the truck, sick to my stomach. Got myself a load going home, and then I put my truck back in the shop to figure out an electrical issue it's had for a while. We addressed a whole bunch of other little issues with the truck, but a major one was for the air conditioning. And of course, now that it's starting to warm up, can't really work without it. So it spent about a week at an electrical shop, and these guys pinned out every harness until they found it. Wasn't cheap, but they got it figured out. AC works again, which is good. I hired a couple more drivers, and I'm going to be putting another driver in this truck once I'm done with I got a load I'm delivering right now. I got to finish this load up first. Kudos to my dispatch service. They got me $4,400 leaving the LA market for 670 miles. Excellent rate. But then I got to go rescue a trailer. I have to do what they call a repower. I have a truck that dropped an injector the other night, and his truck's going to the shop for a set of injectors, so his won't be ready till like Monday, Tuesday, which means that load still has to move. So instead of putting my new driver Diane in this truck over the weekend, that's what the plan was. I don't have her drug test result back yet. Probably won't get it till Monday, so I'll be repowering that load and heading off to Houston and then doubling back. Anyway, but I hope here over the next couple days to do a few more load board reviews. I try and not do videos when I'm home, guys. I spent the last, since Memorial Day at home. I'm away from home so much that when I'm home, I focus a lot on my wife and kids, and I do honeydews, and I try and take over as much of the home duties as I can. I try and, take the kids to the doctor's appointments and take a load off the wife, because, she handles 100% of all of that 100% of the time when I'm gone. So when I come home, I do a lot of cooking. I like to cook. If you guys have ever seen, I've done a couple videos, even while on the road, I like to cook and eat well. Anyway, so back out on the road. Even after I turn this truck over, I'm going to be prepping a couple more trucks to put drivers in. And so I'm going to be away from home probably up until Father's Day. I'll be home for Father's Day is the hope. Anyway, as you look at my load board here, a couple things have changed. We did one load right before Memorial Day weekend for Amazon. I had a load go bad on one of my drivers. In fact, the driver that has the truck with the bad injector, he had a load. It didn't technically shift. The load wasn't well palletized, and when he arrived at the shipper or the receiver wouldn't take the load because the pallets had come apart. And I guess this particular shipper is kind of known for it, so the receiver just refused it. We had to take the truck to a cross-dock facility where they restacked all the pallets and rebanded them, and this made my driver miss his unload appointment. Then he missed his next load that would have gotten him back home for Memorial Day. And so I found him a load on Amazon that brought him within about 50 miles of his home, which was pretty good. So we did the one load, and he scored 100, and that was all it took for us to get early access and 1-day payment qualified again. So real soon, probably over this weekend, I'll do a few more load reviews and show you guys kind of what the early access loads look like. They don't really pay better, contrary to what a lot of people say. What it really is, you get loads that are in the preferred lanes. So for example, I live in Southern California. It's very easy to book a load leaving Los Angeles, going to Phoenix or Arizona or Sacramento, but it's difficult to find loads coming back. And so I started using other load boards when I tried to get home, just because it was difficult to find loads coming back. If Amazon does have loads heading back into Southern California, it's typically in the early access. And so it's kind of a way that they incentivize you doing a better job. It makes it easier for you to dispatch your trucks. I guess what I'm trying to say. You don't really make better money, but I'm in Las Cruces right now. That's where my delivery goes. My original intent was to drop this truck off in El Paso for Diana, the new driver, but I got to go rescue this other trailer now, and that just kind of didn't work out. But let me see if I can't show you guys kind of the types of loads that we would be doing. And I'm not sure what happened there. One more thing. And so this is kind of how I find loads for us. Obviously, we bring our own trailers. So we do the trailer required. I don't move for less than $1,000. If a load's not going to pay me $1,000, whether it takes 5 hours or the whole day to do, I just won't bother with it, guys. It's not, unless I was like looking to get home or something like that. But if I'm just chasing the money, that's kind of how I would filter it for me. So this is just a quick glance at what the better rates are. I mean, I could show you guys the worst rates, but the idea is to find the better rates, right? So here we have a load out of Maryland. It's a 287 mile load, pays $572. They say you can do that in 9 hours for $1,600. That's not bad. I'd take something like that. There's a load out of Joliet, Illinois. It's 200 miles, $527 a mile for $1,000. There is a load out of Commerce. A lot of these loads are going to be out of Southern California. Apparently that's the hotter market right now. So there's 258 miles heading to the Vegas area for just under $5 a mile. There's 360 miles heading to Phoenix from Carson for $449 a mile. There's 368 miles for $4.49 per mile, also heading to Phoenix. There's another one going to Phoenix for $449. There's another Phoenix load, $448. Another Phoenix load, $447. Like I said, getting from LA to Phoenix isn't tough. Finding a load from Phoenix back to LA, that's a little rougher, and it's kind of why these loads pay a little better than what some of you guys think is a good rate. Going from Phoenix back to LA is tough. So from Phoenix, if you want to stay moving, you'll probably end up grabbing a load going further east or going up into Vegas or Utah or something like that. Anyway, so there's a load going to Tracy, which is Northern California, for $432. Like I said, right now the higher paying loads are in Southern California. So there's a load out of Redlands heading to Phoenix, $429. Let me just look at this one. because this may be where I just picked up. Nope. Nope, but it's right around the corner. Anyway, so yeah, I just picked up in Redlands, and I got $4,400 from Redlands, California to Las Cruces, New Mexico. Kudos to my dispatch service. That's an excellent rate, $4,400 for 670 miles. So there's Rancho Dominguez to Phoenix, $427 a mile. Carpinteria, which is just south of Santa Barbara. If you've ever been to Santa Barbara, Carpinteria is like a small town right along the coast. That's going to Henderson, which is basically Vegas, $426 a mile. There's Carson to Phoenix, $422 a mile. Another Carson to Phoenix, $422. There's a Tennessee to Ohio load, $407 a mile. There's a Redlands to Stockton, $403 a mile. There's a team load going from West Columbia, South Carolina to Teterboro, New Jersey at $388. Not really sure why they're requiring a team. Maybe just because they take long to load you and unload you. But $388, and you do that in a day. It's not too bad. It's almost $3,000. Usually they don't pay teams well over at Amazon. There's a Mount Juliet heading out to Burlington, New Jersey, $385 a mile. There's a Maryland heading to New York, $382 a mile. There's a El Monte, California heading to Portland, Oregon at $378. Heading up into Portland, I just made that loop, and honestly, you need to get like $4,500 to $4,700 heading up that way, because loads coming out aren't great. Your loads coming out of there, you're lucky to get over $2 a mile. My original trip going up there was supposed to have a load going from there to Idaho, and then I had a load from Idaho to Phoenix, and then that was going to bring me home from Phoenix. But then I got sick and messed all that up and missed all my loads. Ended up taking another load, leaving like right before Memorial Day weekend. Anyway, so there's a Chino to Phoenix, $376. San Bernardino to Salem, Oregon for $376 a mile. There's a Sioux City, Iowa load heading to Aurora, Colorado for $374. There's a Georgia load heading out to Connecticut, $374 per mile. These aren't bad rates. The market is good right now for your dry van. Finding $5 a mile loads in the 300 to 500 mile range is not difficult. Obviously, the longer the trip, the rate comes down. So being close to $4 a mile on 1,000 miles is decent. But going north into Oregon is kind of tough because you don't find great rates coming out. So there's a San Bernardino to Oregon, $373. There's a Tennessee to Missouri load, 393 miles, for $372. It's $1,400. You can do it in a day. That's doable in my opinion. There's a Memphis load heading to everyone's favorite CLT2. It pays decent. I wouldn't go to CLT2 personally, unless you don't mind being frustrated sitting there. They're about as bad as FTW1. It's worse when you have your own trailer, because they make you drop your trailer, go away, and then they call you when your trailer's ready. And we we had a trailer get given away to somebody else, and we lost that trailer for about a month. Anyway, so there's a Berkeley, Illinois load going to Burlington, New Jersey, 366 per mile. But they're saying it's 4 days. Not really sure why it says 4 days, but that pretty much means you're going to be storing their merchandise, because it won't take you 4 days to travel 800 miles. I'd stay away from that. So there's a load from Vegas going to Portland, 365. It's 1,100 miles for $4,000 in 2 days. That's not bad money going up. The struggle will be to come back down, obviously. There's a Maryland load going to Jersey, 287 miles at 365 for 1,048. That's not bad for a day's work. There's another Maryland to New York load, 365 per mile. There's another Maryland to New York at 365. Another one. Looks like they got a handful of them. When something like that comes up, what I kind of noticed is if you want to make that trip and they're all on the same day, these don't appear to be. Whoops, sorry. But if they were all on the same day, I would take a chance and let a couple of those book. In other words, wait and let a couple of them book, and progressively they'll go up. So you don't have as big a risk. Hey, I really want that load, but I want to do it for, no less than $4. But then, before it hits $4, somebody takes it. The advantage when a lot of them are running, when it's a lot of truckloads on the same day, the advantage is you can wait, and if someone books one, you didn't lose your only opportunity, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so there's a Maryland to New York, 365. There's a Lake Havasu, Arizona load going to Oregon for 363. There's a Redlands going to Oregon for 363. There's a team load out of Paris going to Salt Lake for 361. It's $2,400 in a day, but then what's your team going to do to leave there? Here's a Boneville, I guess that's how you pronounce that. Load going to Florida. That's at 359. Personally, I'm kind of afraid of Florida. I always hear of people being stuck there and leaving for nothing. There's another one going to Florida for 354. Here's a load going from Georgia to Ohio at 353. There's a load out of Georgia going to Connecticut at 353. These aren't bad rates, guys. I mean, like I say, you can get better, but everyone's complaining Amazon rates have gone really bad. These aren't bad. They're not great, but they're workable, especially compared to some of the stuff I'm seeing on the power only side, where people are, down under $2 a mile. These, of course, aren't loads that'll bring you home every day. You got to stay out and work. So there's a load from Mount Juliet out to Fall River, Massachusetts, 350 a mile. There's another one going to Maryland at 345 a mile. There's a load going from Commerce to Schertz, Texas, $4,500. I think I've done that load for like $5,200. Yeah, I think I did that for $5,200. And that load's today. It should be a little bit higher, I think. Anyway, there's another one from Missouri going also to Schertz for $329 a mile. There's a load going from California to Phoenix at $323 a mile. Another load going to Phoenix at 323. Another load heading to Texas from Ontario at 323. A load from Fontana, California out to DuPont, Washington for 323. There's another one, same thing, 323. Yeah, these are on different days, but same thing. There's 322 from Chino out to Schertz, Texas. 322, same thing. Union City to Memphis for 320. That's actually a good rate. Leaving Georgia, heading to Memphis. Memphis is a good market, especially with Amazon. You'll always find decent loads when you're trailer required in the Memphis area. I took plenty of loads there. In fact, for a while there, I was able to run back and forth between Memphis and Dallas, and your typical loads between Memphis and Dallas, at least last year, you know, 1,400 was on the low side, 1,800 was kind of the norm. The best load I ever got out of there was like $2,400, which I think was from Memphis to Dallas. Granted, Hurricane Laura was coming through, so no one wanted to move. I just got myself loaded, went and sat at a truck stop, and I took the late delivery, but I got $2,400. Anyway, so there's a load from Commerce to DuPont, Washington for 315. There's a load from Victorville, California to Brookshire, Texas for 314. There's a load from Georgia heading out to Indiana at 311. Anyways, as you guys can see, there's some decent loads. There's another load going to Memphis at 310. That's not a bad rate. $1,500 for just under 500 miles, and it gets you again back into Memphis. I've always liked the Memphis market for Amazon or just in general. You know, there's a port there, and so there's lots of distribution centers there. Memphis is a good hub. If you want to make Memphis, like, go from Memphis anywhere in the country, you'll get decent rates out of Memphis. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap the video up so it doesn't get too long. I'll try and get another one done tonight after I drop my load and pick up the other trailer. We'll see how far I can get, and I'll try and do some box truck stuff. I know there's a lot of questions on those. A lot of strange stuff did happen. According to other YouTubers, the dedicated lane route or dedicated route work, they changed the base rate to 0 and switched it to like $40 an hour. But it sounds like they switched it back. I think a lot of people turned in their lanes, and so Amazon realized, you know, that isn't quite gonna work. Kudos to the people that didn't take the loads that cheap and you know, didn't make the market go that way and hurt a lot of small entrepreneurs, you know. Anyways, guys, as always, thanks for watching. I'll try and get back on a semi-regular schedule now that I'm back out working, and you'll have to excuse the noise. My load time switched at the last minute. I requested an early load time for this particular load, and I got a text message like at 5 in the morning saying, hey, you got a 10 o'clock load time, and I rushed to get in the truck, and I left my preferred headset that records with the least amount of background noise. I left it in my pickup truck. When I went to go grab the truck where I park it, I leave my pickup truck sitting there, and unfortunately the bag where I had my Bluetooth and a whole bunch of other stuff stayed there. So you're gonna have to put up with a little bit of noise until I can find something better to record with. But as always, thanks for watching. Hope everyone has a great day.